We are live.
It's all you, Cassie. Oh.
Now we'll just wait for people to join. Okay, and if I screen share now, it will look weird. So I'll wait. Okay, wait, so how do I make sure I click on the right screen though? Because, oh, if I do this. How do we make sure that my screen is the one that's showing? Like a 5-second lag? Okay, good to know. Hi everyone that's hopped on so far. We'll just leave a few minutes for others to join and then we'll get started. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks to those who have joined so far. We'll start the webinar in 2 minutes. So we give others a few minutes to load up the link. Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hi everyone, thanks for joining our PD package webinar, and just thanks for giving us a chance to tell you a little bit about what we have to offer and what we've come up with. My name is Cassie Caputo, and I'm on the Google for Education team, and I work with school districts in Texas. We have Amy Mayer here as well, and she'll be telling us a little bit about what about the PD package that we'll go through FriEdTechnology. So with that, I'll go ahead and share my screen and give you guys some of the important links. All right, so if you would please also mark your attendance. This short link is case sensitive. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a second and letting us know that you're here today, we'd really appreciate that. I'll give everyone a minute to write that down. Great. So here's the agenda for today. We'll start off for the first 5 minutes with a couple of quick introductions. Then I'll let Amy Mayer take it away with the details on the PD package that she's offering. Before that, I'll introduce why we came up with the PD package and what is in it. And then we'll finish with the Q&A doc that I'll share that link with you in just a second, and any closing questions or comments that the group might have. So first, my name is Cassie Caputo again. I'm on the Google for Education team. I'm a program manager covering Texas and working with school districts in Texas. And we also have Amy Mayer on the line.
Hi, everybody. This is Amy, and my hair looks better in the picture, so don't look at it today. Nice to meet you. I'm in Texas, and I do FriEdTechnology. It's my company. I work with 20 other educators to provide professional development to educators, mostly in Texas. So nice to be here today. Cassie, thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining. So if you have any questions, we'll be using this Q&A doc. So this should be an open doc that doesn't require any sign-in. And I'll let everyone take a second to jot that down as well. I'll be monitoring the Q&A doc during the presentation as well, and hopefully filling in those answers. We'll also have a little bit of time at the end to go through some of those together. All right, moving on to the next. So 71%. What do you think this number represents? So today's focus is all around training and our teachers in the classroom using Google Apps for education. And 71% represents the percentage of teachers that attribute workplace stress to the adoption of new initiatives without professional development. So while we ask for teachers to continue to grow and improve on what they're working on, and introducing new products to them to use in the classroom to help with engagement and that sort of thing. The message is that we're not exactly preparing them as best as we can in using those tools. So given the statistics of our education teams have collaborated closely together to bring to school and classrooms resources like our newly revamped training center, certifications, and innovator programs across the globe. So that's given this stat, we're trying to offer some of those solutions to fill those gaps in training. And we wanted to take it a bit further and develop a program that would kickstart quality professional development and training across districts and help teachers speak the same technology language. So before we built out the program, we wanted to first determine, what does successful professional development look like anyway? So in a study across various states with above average scores, and these states were New Jersey, Colorado, Vermont, and Missouri, one common strategy that was dominant among these states was partnering with professional development organizations. So we do know that it does make a difference. Okay, so I'm getting feedback that you're not able to see the presentation very well, so let me try to fix that. Let's make sure that comes through on the live end. Great, so you guys should be able to see the presentation a little bit better. So sorry about that. Let me actually take a minute to go back to the links I put up earlier so you can jot those down. Sorry about that, guys. Going live is always a little tough. So first, those who are here, please mark your attendance. Here's the link to mark your attendance. It is case sensitive. And then second doc, here's the link for Q&A. So feel free to type in any questions that you might have, and we'll go through and answer those at the end. Thank you so much, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. So, given these standards here that we talked about of implementing a successful strategy, these were some of the common things that these 4 states that had above average scores in the National Assessment of Educational Process, these are the 4 standards that they had in common. So standards to guide accountability, staff collaboration, support, and mentoring, measurement for success, and access to professional development organizations. So prioritizing these types of partnerships. And so our PD package is in 3 phases. So the first phase is the strategic planning phase. So we wanted the partner to truly understand what your goals were and what process would work best for implementation. So next is the actual execution of the training. So we're offering the PD package in a 2-day training delivered by FriEdTechnology and with Amy Mayer and her team. So it could be Amy Mayer or a member of her team as well. So it's a 2-day training that covers the fundamentals for teachers to be able to pass the Google Educator Level 1 certification. And then the final phase is the consultation after the training has taken place. So this is a way to consult with your district in how we can best scale training for all teachers. So the goal here is that you would have 25 teachers take the Educator Certification Level 1 exam and be a resource for other teachers to help them use the tools effectively in the classroom as well. And each person's post-consultation will be a little bit different. So your district may want to certify all your teachers or leverage the teachers that you have in a strategic way. And I will let Amy take it from here and tell you a little bit more about that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Cassie. So the way FriEdTechnology does these educator certifications, I think is maybe a little bit different from how you may be used to learning as an educator in PD. First of all, it's all hands-on, 100% hands-on. So you have a computer in front of you and you're actually doing things throughout the entire 2 days that we're together. Another thing is that we do it in a challenge-based model. So that means that each of the sort of parts of the training that you complete, you're completing a challenge. This aligns very nicely with the testing that you'll ultimately take from Google, which is challenge-based. So those questions that you get are going to ask you to complete tasks during the testing, inside the testing environment, that are going to mimic things that teachers actually have to do in the classroom on a daily basis. So none of this is sort of philosophical or pie in the sky or anything like that. It's all very concrete, very hands-on. How would you actually complete this project? Okay, now let's do it. So that doesn't mean that we're not there to help you. It doesn't mean that we're not there guiding you and making sure that you're on track and that you have everything you need, that all of your questions are answered. It just means that what we like to do is set you free to work at your own pace and provide all the resources you need to do that. So we actually offer a lot of different Google courses. We're going to be announcing soon a Certified Trainer Academy that's going to be happening in Houston in December. And then we're looking for districts who want to host the Google Educator Challenge Level 1 and 2, or who want to engage in the PD package, which also includes some pre-work and post-work with your district in addition to just the training seminars for teachers. I listed on this slide some of the districts and entities that we've worked with before. People always ask about this. Who else have you helped? Who else have you worked with? And these are some exemplary organizations and schools who we've worked with and continue to work with and collaborate with in our business. So Cassie, will you switch that for us?
Yes.
So I'm going to go to the next slide in my view and see what's on there because I can't remember. Oh, okay. So what's going to be on the next slide, there it is sort of an overview of what happens during these 2 days. So how are these days going to be broken out? What are we going to actually do during this time together? And what kind of tools are we going to cover? Well, what we did is we took a look at the educator exams and all of the materials that Google provides to get people ready for those exams. And we broke those down into these sections so that we would make sure we give you adequate time on each of those sections. You'll notice some things built in here. Like, for example, Google Drawings back channel. This is a classroom practice that we use inside our professional development that we'd love for you to replicate inside your classroom. So I think of it, my friend Matthew calls it meta. So we try to be really meta with those things. If you had to teach your classroom, what kind of strategies could you use to teach a classroom full of students? Well, we're going to use those same strategies with you. We're going to give you a chance to experience those as a student, and then we're also going to give you help in figuring out how you can actually implement those things. So on this slide also is a little bit more information about what challenge-based means to us and how we think that's going to benefit you. So hopefully you guys remember that Q&A doc, and you're asking some questions in here if you have them, because I'd love to talk more to you about what those elements actually mean and what kind of things you would actually learn. So Cassie, can you switch for me one more time? Thank you. So this is a picture of me again, and it's kind of awkward doing a hangout with a picture of you on the screen there. But so I've been in education for 20 years. I've over 20 years now. I've worked in public education almost that entire time. I've been working on what's now my company, FriEdTechnology, for 6 years. And I really consider myself a champion for student and staff engagement. When you come to training with me or with someone who's on my team, I want you to really be interested in what you're doing. My number one goal for you is for you to feel that it's relevant to your work. I never want someone to leave training with us and say, well, I could have been doing something else today, because that's not really going to help me do my job tomorrow. So that's where we're obsessed with this being relevant to you. We're always going to ask you after every session, was it relevant? And we're going to strive to make it more relevant. But what we usually hear is, yes, this helps me do exactly what I do every day. As I mentioned before, it's going to be hands-on. We're willing to customize anything that we do. We don't believe in just a can of PD that we take and put into a dish and cook up for you. It's called FriEdTechnology because we think that's what we do. We're hand cooking everything that we do with you, and we want it to be exactly what you want it to be and to help you solve your problems. So when we made this slide, I had 17 educators on the team who were ready to come and provide professional development with you. Since then, we've added some more people. If you want to see who those folks are, please visit our website at www.friedtechnology.com. And you'll find a tab there at the top that will let you look at everybody's pictures. Click on their picture and you'll see their biography, see some work products they've made, find out more about them. So I'd love for you to take a look at all of the team members. So Cassie, will you switch for us one more time?
Yep.
So Cassie, this is back to our Q&A doc, is that correct?
Yes, that's the last. Oh, here's the last. There we go. Is this the right link?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
So if you guys will visit that link, it will tell you more about this PD package. The most important thing that we can do with the time that we have left today is get all your questions out that you have right now in the Q&A doc. We can, of course, go back to that later and check if you're, I know a lot of you guys mentioned you weren't able to come to the live presentation. A lot of people are in class or with kids right now. So if you watch this later, I will go back and check that doc, and I know Cassie will too. But if you are watching live today and you have any questions at all that we can answer, please ask in there. And please also visit this short URL. So remember, when you type those short URLs, you don't have to type the http://. Sorry if you just spent a bunch of time typing that and now I said it. But you just type the bit.ly / and then capital F, capital T for FriEdTechnology. And that's a dash, capital P, capital D, capital P. So if you type that in, you'll see a little bit more information. And then I think we'll go over to the Q&A doc. Is that right, Cassie?
Yes. So this is the link again for the Q&A doc if you have any questions. And we'll go ahead and stop presenting and go through some of the Q&A. And so type that in, just feel free to type more questions in as they come up.
So someone asked how to reach us, and you can definitely do that through the link that Cassie provided there on the right. And Cassie, I'm going to make this attendance link a hyperlink in case anyone didn't get that. We definitely want to hear from you and get all your questions answered and help you with your PD.
Cool. So the first question in the doc, how are other districts integrating educator certifications into their PD strategy? So if you have a take on that, and I can share as well, either way.
Cassie, you know me. I have a take on everything. Yeah, of course I do. So one of the ways that people are doing this, for example, Prosper ISD, which is just north of Dallas, did an educator certification event this last summer. We also did one in Tyler, Texas. And what they're doing is grabbing people who they know are sort of their pioneers in the Google ecosystem. They're getting people who are already excited and innovative and using Google tools, but they want to know more. They're initially pulling those people into a training. Those folks are getting more information. They're able to go back and then share with colleagues. I don't know about you guys. I'd love to hear your take on this, but I used to be a teacher, of course, and I taught high school English. And what I didn't like is when somebody sent me to a training and then said, oh, now you're responsible for training everybody else. Well, I just went to the training one time. I'm not really ready to train everybody else. So hopefully nobody's putting that on your shoulders. Hopefully you're going back to school, you're using the strategies you learn, and fellow teachers are coming into your classroom and going, wow, I didn't know you could do that. I want to learn more about this. Maybe administrators are coming in and saying, this is a best practice, and we should all learn how to do what we've seen in your classroom today. So that's how I see people integrating it most effectively. And I think that we've been a part of that in those two districts.
Perfect. Thank you. So the next question is around, are there resources that can be shared on the PD package? And I don't know if you have a place where you have that information, or we could just link it in at the end.
You know what I think would be the best thing for people to do? If you guys will fill out that form that I now link to the right of that question, then I will share a presentation with you that's about the package. It has some of the elements that Cassie talked about today and sort of breaks down what all the different parts of the package are, what you could expect to have if you purchase that. So the best thing to do is fill out that form, and I'll be back in touch with you in the next few days via email, sharing something with you that you'll be able to use and share with others around you.
There's a good question about how do you focus your PD tools on iOS and Windows districts?
So it doesn't really make a lot of difference for the educator certification what your destination device is for students. So we work with districts who use all different kinds of student devices. When you come to the professional development, you're going to be using a computer. So you won't be using an iPad because not everything that we'll do will work on an iPad, for example. You could use either a Chromebook, a PC, a MacBook. Any of those devices will work fine. And then as you work through strategies that you'll be using with students, it would be great to have whatever your destination student device is there with you so that you can have time and space allocated to work on how's this actually going to work in my classroom? If I have iPads, how am I going to actually accomplish this? So that's what we'd recommend to you, but it certainly doesn't matter at all what kind of devices your district has. This is still going to be for you, and we're still going to be able to help you with that.
Great. We have someone who's watching the webinar while their students are at work. Thanks for double tasking and thanks for joining. And the question is around joining another local campus for PD. How does it work, Amy? Can you get a couple of districts grouped together to do this, or what is the best way for a district to leverage the training that you're offering?
Yes, we actually work with a lot of small districts. As a matter of fact, I'd say probably maybe 70% of the school districts we work for are what in Texas, generally speaking, we would call small districts. So districts with fewer than 10,000 students. And a lot of times, if you're a really small district, you don't have enough, you can't take all your teachers out to do this for 2 days. Even if you wait till summer, we might be training every single teacher you have in 2 days because you only have 30 teachers. So of course you can partner with other districts. One of the ways that we do that, we call the hosted model. So what that means is if you think you have a great place to host an educator academy, what we'll do is we set up an event that other districts can register for. They can pay with purchase orders, and what that means in Texas is that a purchase order is just a promise to pay, and most districts function that way. So people come to the event, they've never paid anything, they don't pay you, they don't pay us. After the event is over, everybody's satisfied, we'll send them an invoice, and they pay us after the event. So it's really easy for you. And you would get a number of seats. So for example, you might get one person to attend the academy for every 5 seats you sell to another school district. And that's a common model that we do. So in short, don't let that hold you back because you're in a small district and you think, I don't really have enough people to do this, or maybe you're just getting started with Google Apps for Education and there's just not enough interest in your school district yet. Maybe not enough people know about it or are aware of what the tools have to offer. If that's the case, it shouldn't hold you back if you have a training location and you want to be the host. If you're trying to talk to your administrator about this and you're a teacher, one point to make is that if you're the host district, you have no travel cost. So that's usually a huge savings. Even getting people to a town that's 50 miles away, you're incurring mileage and all that. So it can be a great benefit to you. Another question that you might have along those lines is, what kind of responsibilities would we have as a host district? Well, you would need to have robust Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi would need to be open to all of the different tools in the Google Apps for Education suite. And then you would need to have your seating and everything else that accommodates adults. So we like to have adults in regular chairs, not in student desk, because a lot of adults are just super uncomfortable trying to sit in a student desk all day. So maybe in your library, or if you have a Learning Commons or an LGI, those are all spaces that we could use for an event like this.
Great. And to clarify on that question as well, Amy, 2 questions clarified there. So let's say you have 3 districts that all together bring together 25 teachers. Is it correct to say they would be able to split that cost among them?
Yes, absolutely. Great. So yes, the model I was talking about, we would open up to any school district who wanted to send 1 or 2 people. But if you have let's say you have 2 or 3 districts who are close to each other who want to split the costs, yeah, we could definitely do that. That's no problem. As I mentioned, you actually don't pay anything before these events occur. We just make an agreement with each other that this is what happens after the event. So we would just invoice you and the other 1 or 2 districts after the event, and you would just each pay your portion of the PD package. So that, yeah, that'd be perfectly fine.
Great. And then by extension, one more question. With private schools, charter schools, independent schools, is that a model they could take advantage of as well?
Yes, absolutely. So private, we work exactly the same way with other schools. We always just want to find out what is your school's goal before we work with your teachers in any kind of capacity. That's our most important thing. So if we're working with multiple different schools, we just want to know from each school, what is your school's goal? What are you trying to accomplish with Google Apps for Education? We just want to make sure that our materials are, you know, are just giving you exactly what you need. But we feel really confident that we can do that with any school. And I do. My largest contract is with a private school. So I definitely am now aware. I wasn't a year ago, but now I'm well aware of how private schools work, and would love to work with you guys from private and charter schools as well.
Great. And then one last question. Um, do you have access and to speak to VR? So for example, expeditions. Is that part of any of the training that you have offered yet? I know from the Google standpoint, just to speak as a Googler, that's all pretty new. So we don't have any information around training on expeditions. But is that something people are asking you for or offer at all?
Well, it's a really popular topic, and what I would recommend to you guys who are interested in that is to go to a Google Summit like the one we have coming up in Central Texas. I'll put a link to it in the document. I don't know if you guys can see this on your live stream, but this is an event that we have coming up, and we will definitely do our best to get someone from Google there with an expeditions kit so you can see it. But another exciting thing, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but I'm excited to talk about it. And if anybody wants to do a training on this or host a training on it, I would love to be involved. And that's the opportunities that students can have to create things for cardboard. So the Google system is proprietary, Google Expeditions, but there are sort of pieces of that that are similar that you can work with as an independent person not associated with Google. And students can create tours of campuses and create materials that can be opened much in the same way that expeditions are. I actually have a blog post about that, but I couldn't find anybody else who was as excited about it as I was. But hopefully whoever asked that question, you're that person. So in a few minutes, I'll put that link in there for you, and we can geek out over the possibilities.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Amy. So it looks like we actually went through and covered all the questions. I think there are just 1 or 2 links that need to be added to this doc here. And so with that, I think we'll call it. We're right at time, and thanks everyone who was able to join. And this is automatically recorded and will be uploaded to our channel as well. So great. Thanks.
All right.
I'll let everyone sign off. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Cassie. Nice to see you today.
You too. Bye.
Bye.